The First Cat in Space and the Soup of Doom is out now. Congratulations. We have childhood friends and book collaborators Mag Barnett, who is the author, and Shawn Harris, our illustrator, here to chat all about it. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. It's exciting.
Thank you.
So usually, tell me a little bit. Authors and illustrators are usually not childhood friends, and they're usually not working together side by side. Am I correct on that?
That is true, especially in children's books. If you see a children's book that has two different people writing and illustrating the book, usually they are kept separate. We're not even supposed to talk to each other, but that's impossible for me and Shawn to do because we've been best friends since we're 7 years old and we talk every single day. So this book, we work super closely together when we make it. I write a chapter, Shawn illustrates it, I read that illustrated chapter and then write the next one.
Shawn, I want to talk a little bit about the illustrations in the book. And I don't know if you could talk a little inside baseball with me, but as far as like the expressions, are there ever like make that face that like a childhood friend made, or this is the way that my mom made these faces? Is there anything, or this is the way that like Mac and Shawn, like their faces? Do we get to see any of that in the book?
Oh wow, yeah. I have a terrible collection of photos of myself from my iPad. I'll just like click the pose that I need and just kind of reference it a little bit, and those still exist on my camera roll, and I do need to go through and delete them.
So they're all your expressions. Okay, so let me just see. I'm actually just learning this too, Rudy. Let's see. Shawn, let's just say you ate some poisoned soup. What's your expression? Oh, fantastic. And let's say that you were surprised by a villain entering the scene. Okay, I'm seeing why all the expressions are the same.
This is why I need to delete the camera roll. Yeah,
it's a wide range. It's a wide range of emotions. Mac, let's talk a little bit about the plot of the book, because the first journey was involving an adventure with pizza, and this time it's soup.
That's true. Yeah, the First Cat in Space is a bionically engineered hero sent from Earth to save the moon. And in the first book, the First Cat in Space saves the moon from being eaten by rats. In the second book, the Queen of the Moon eats some bad soup, some poisoned soup, and she needs to enlist help from her two best friends, the First Cat in Space and Laws 4000, the toenail clipping robot, in order to find the antidote. So it's pretty serious stuff.
It's a pretty serious stuff. When you were 7 years old, when you were on the soccer team, when you were hanging out at each other's houses, what would you eat? Like, what would be the exciting thing of come over to my house, we're having blank? And was it either of those things, pizza or soup?
In the first picture discovered of us together, we are sharing a brownie. When we were 7 years old, sharing a brownie.
Yeah, that was the soccer snack. That was, which is that I feel like that's some real 1980s stuff right there to fuel your athletic performance just with brownies.
You need to eat more sugar. You don't need protein. You need lots of chocolate, lots of sugar. That's what's going to get you through this.
As I understand it, that's yeah.
And that could possibly be the third book in the series. We went from pizza to soup. Maybe brownies is the third one.
That's not bad, actually. I gotta
rocket fuel.
I'm writing that down.
Brownie rocket fuel. There you go. Let's just let's take the next hour. We'll just flush out the whole third book. Let's go ahead and do that.
Perfect. Rudy, welcome to the team.
Welcome to the team. Thank you so much. As far as the things when you were growing up and when you started collaborating together, what were some of those movies, some of those books, some of those TV shows that like you talked about that inspired the pages of the series?
Oh, that's a great question. I think that like at its heart, these are sort of these sci-fi B movies mashed up with 90s Bruckheimer action movies, but everything is played for laughs. I think that the Hitchhiker's Guide books were a big influence on this, just using science fiction as a vehicle to try to write the funniest stuff you can possibly get out. Calvin and Hobbes was a big influence on this. That was both of our favorite comic strip when we were kids. I see what you're doing.
Yeah. We've got a reference in the book. See if you can pick this one, Rudy.
Is that E.T.?
Yes, it's E.T.
We all have the same references. Everything you were mentioning was everything that like inspired me, because especially for, you know, probably young boys, it's maybe you have to find the right thing to read about, whether it might be something space adventure or something sports related or something, you know, wild that you're like, oh, this is really, you know, capturing my sense of imagination. I want to continue to read. So I just love that that series is doing that, you know, for many young kids.
We hear that a lot from kids, and I think that genre fiction and graphic novels especially, you know, for so long they've been looked down upon by adults, and that's really changed in the last few years, and I think that's great, because being a kid, your job is just to be out there reading as many books as possible, exposing yourself to the world, figuring out like what are those things that really get you interested. And just letting kids read the stuff they want to read is the key to making lifelong readers. And that moment when you read something, you say, "This is it. This is the stuff that I think about. This is the stuff that I worry about. This is the stuff that I think is funny." That's the most exciting connection you can have with the story, and to know that we have kids out there saying that about our books, it's overwhelming.
And the final thing, really quickly, as far as you being childhood friends and then running into people maybe from like that time period, like maybe they didn't realize, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're still friends, or this is something you always talked about, like it's so cool that you're doing that. Like, are people surprised, or are they just kind of like, I knew it?
It's so funny you say that, Rudy, because I feel like I'm surprised that we're doing this. Like I'm surprised that we're making these books, that this is where we've ended up. When we talk to friends who knew us when we were kids, they're not surprised at all. They're like, of course, this is what you're working on. Of course, you two are doing this together. This is just what it's always been like to hang out with you guys. So in that way, I guess they know us a little bit better than that. Well, I mean, I don't know. Shawn, are you surprised we're doing this?
No.
Okay, there you go.
Awesome. Shawn Beck, thank you both so much for your time today. The First Cat in Space and The Soup of Doom is out now. Go check it out. And thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Rudy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.